So, in 12 episodes doing this, we have yet to be able to get a real live reaction to something. When we recorded our first episode, John Harbaugh got fired like 30 minutes after we stopped recording, so we missed it by a hair. But for maybe the first time, we have the
Yes.
closest thing we've gotten to a live reaction, and it's that Matthew Stafford got an extension, which we don't have much to say about. He's going to make $55 million for 1 year. And your favorite general manager, Joe Shane, got himself a contract extension for multiple years. So before we get into the basketball and hockey stuff, what do you think about your guy Shane getting some even more leeway in his time with the Giants?
I'm indifferent. I don't think it's going to change anything. He's just, it's pretty well known that he's a glorified scout at this point. I think the reason he didn't get fired was because of the ownership changes and the coaching changes happening very fast. And then they just kind of decided to run with it in his demoted role. So, like, he's the GM without him actually being the GM.
Like you're saying, Harbaugh is basically the GM at this point.
Yeah, that's it's kind of known, and I think it's obvious with every signing and all the top draft picks. To me, none of that strikes me as a Shane pick. Like if Shane was doing everything, like I think we would have taken. I think there's a good chance we would have taken one of the top receivers
Another
because he
one.
was really into. Yeah,
I guess Neighbors is hurt.
yeah, yeah. Or if Jeremiah Love was there, they may have taken Love.
Which I would have
But
agreed with, for the record. People like hated that
I
idea.
wouldn't I wouldn't have been mad at that.
I'm not just saying this to troll you. I think Cam Scatterboo may have become the most overrated player in the league. He's like he'll be better next year, but he was a 3.6 yard per carry back who blew out his ankle.
I don't think
Like
he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be worse.
like he had a good game against Philly. He's a funny guy. Like I get why people like him, and I don't
He's a
dislike
team
him.
guy. Yeah.
But I saw people say, "Why would you draft Jeremiah Love and you have Scatterboo?" What? Because Scatterboo's
Yeah.
not that
No.
good.
He.
Like I don't know. I'm not just. I don't
Well,
know. I would like to see someone
I
like
don't know.
Scatterboo do well. He's a goofy he's like a frat bro, and he seems
He had
like a funny
he
dude. But
had some good. Yeah. He had some good games with a bad offensive line. Well, it
which is
was
still
bad when he was.
which will still be bad. So that's another part of it.
No, it's definitely better now.
Well, who'd you? I guess you got Mamigoa.
No. Yeah.
You got Mamigoa.
Yeah. And
Maybe
center and left guard are the same. Andrew Thomas is back, and
I
then
assume I
Illuminor was
assume yeah I assume Falele won't start, or maybe he will because he's Harbaugh's guy. I don't know.
Filet. No, he's not going to. They
Okay,
the
well then
reason they drafted the reason they drafted Francis was because of his versatility. Because he's going to start a guard. Um, Illuminor is only on a 2-year deal, so and he's kind of older. So once he's gone, they could swing him over to right tackle. And worst case scenario, if Thomas gets hurt again, he could swing over to left tackle. He was the most kind of versatile and proven offensive lineman uh, in the draft. And I think didn't the offensive tackle go before him? Didn't who the Browns picked an offensive tackle?
The Browns took Fano.
Yeah, who was also good. I liked Fano. I just didn't think he was gonna go over Francis. And no, Falele is guard 3
He was
because
right
you got
guard
it.
for
They
us.
brought back. Yeah, he's just gonna be like probably on special teams. I doubt he sees the field because they actually brought Evan Neal back,
Which yeah,
but he's actually so he's not a good pass blocker, of course. He has like an 81 on PFF for run blocking,
he's not the worst lineman
which
in the
is
league. Obviously, he hasn't lived up
no,
to his
he's
draft billing, but he's not like Nate Solder. Wasn't he the guy you had that was awful?
oh my god, yeah, the right tackle we overpaid from the Patriots.
Yeah,
That was awful. But he
He's not
so
Nate Solder.
No,
but
he's at least a good run blocker. But
he
no,
isn't good.
I think Falele is there just because Harbaugh likes him personally.
Yeah,
Like he's not
because he
gonna.
saw because he scouted him when he was 16. He was from
Yeah,
Australia. He's from Australia. Scouted him at 16. Said I like that guy, and then a
yeah,
few years later, it's the draft. It's the fourth
rugby
round.
player.
Hey, that Falele guy's on the board. That's why he started 17 games for the Ravens, even though he was terrible. So
Yeah,
I'm glad it's
yeah,
not a
he'll be
problem anymore. But
guard. Yeah, he'll be
if
guard
he's
3.
if he's freaking depth fighter, then who cares? Unless he actually has a
Yeah,
shitty
he's
foot,
not
in which case
gonna.
it does matter. But
Yeah, I think it would take some rough injuries for him to actually see the field.
let's
But yeah,
pivot to basketball.
indifferent, indifferent.
Let's pivot to
Yes.
basketball. I think the only real basketball talk we've had so far in this show is us complaining about the lottery, the changes that are coming
Yeah.
next year, which I did not like and I still don't like. But the lottery. Should we start with the lottery or the playoffs that are going on right now? What should we start
You could
with?
start. You could start with the lottery because it worked out as good as it could for your team.
It sure did, because for those who don't know, I don't know if you can tell, you probably can't see from the array of hats I have back there, but I'm a fan of the Washington Wizards, which I would say has been a rough 10 years, but it's been a rough life. It's been a disaster. Our ceiling is the second round. The last time this franchise won 50 games and made the conference finals, my mom was 10 years old, and she's now 50.
Jeez.
I don't know the exact. I think she's 56. She's 56. And the last time they made the conference finals, she was 10. So let that sink in for a minute. Maybe 2017 could have been the year, but then we got Kelly Olynyk in Game 7 against Boston, which was great. Maybe it could have been 2015, but John Wall hurt his hand against the Hawks. We lost in 6 despite Paul Pierce being a clutch shooter for Washington in that series. But it looks like it may have all finally paid off, because at long last, the Wizards have won the draft lottery. I say long last. This is their third lottery win. The first was Kwame Brown, who Jordan picked. That was the whole thing. And then it was John Wall, and now we're here with John Wall representing us in the lottery. We get the first overall pick. Since they flattened the odds in 2018 or 19, I think it's 2018. Since they
I
flattened
don't
the
know.
odds,
Yeah.
to what they've been for the last 7 years, this is the first time the worst team in the league actually got the number one pick. Believe it or not.
Which is crazy.
Which, I mean, it's 14%. So 14% might be tied for the best odds, but that still means there's an 86% chance you don't. So maybe
Yeah.
that's not crazy that it took 7 tries for the worst team to win it. But it's ridiculous that the
Yeah.
odds were formatted that way, and it's ridiculous that it's going to get even worse, because I guess Adam Silver just doesn't understand that some teams are just bad. Some teams just stink. The
Yeah.
Pelicans are just bad. They were trying to be good this year because they traded away their first round pick in this coming up draft for a player in last year's draft, and they won like 26 games or something. So they were trying to be good and they're just bad. So a team like New Orleans, if they were worse, would be punished by the league for just being bad. But anyway, we do want to talk about the winners and the losers in the lottery. And it's obviously the winners are the teams that jumped and the losers are the teams that fell. But do kind of talk about the predicaments they're in, or the fortune they found. And for the Wizards, thank God, finally, it's fortune they found. And it's kind of funny. There's been all this discussion about how stacked this draft is. Brian Windhorst said, if you could purchase the number one pick, it'd be worth $100 million. The number one pick in this draft. And yet what's funny is that there's not really a consensus number one overall pick. Every few years, there's a big time, no doubt, take this guy number one. Elijah, or maybe not Elijah, Duncan, LeBron, Wembanyama. I think Danny Manning was hyped up to high heaven. That didn't work. You had Anthony Davis. Even though this is a stacked draft, there doesn't really seem to be one.
Sacramento is a rough market because you got 2 LA teams and then you've got Golden State in California.
moved.
There's
They
just no
almost-
reason.
They almost became the
The Kings
Sonics.
almost moved.
They almost became the Sonics. Steve Ballmer was going to buy them and make them the Supersonics, but of course, what's the name? What's the name of the new owners? the Madoffs, I believe, Bernie Madoff, or is that
Really?
the financial
No,
criminal,
Bernie.
or is that the financial
Yeah, that's
criminal?
yeah. He's
No, it's the Maloofs. It's the Maloofs, not the Madoffs.
Bernie May, the owner, the famous owner of the
Yo,
Sacramento Kings,
no, no,
Bernie Madoff.
Bernie Madoff doesn't own the Sacramento Kings. He's either dead or
That's
he's in prison.
shorts. That's shorts content.
Shut up, shut up. Bernie Madoff doesn't. Madoff, Maloof, whatever. The Maloofs bought them and kept them in Sacramento. They were gonna become the Sonics, and Ballmer was gonna buy them, and it didn't go through. Hold on. Oh my god. So, anyway,
Yeah.
draft order. Let's talk about the winners and losers here for a second. Obviously, the winner is the Wizards, obviously, who got the first overall pick. It's kind of weird. There is intrigue at who they should take first overall. The debate is Debonsa or Darren Peterson. I want Debonsa. What I don't like, I want to get this off about AJ Debonsa because I think he's been easily the best player in college basketball, at least last season. I guess the year before that it was Flag. But anyway, the best college player in this draft. His question marks are 3-point shooting and defense. And I want to kind of contextualize both of those things. Number one, his 3-point shooting is something that isn't the primary facet of his game. And if Debonsa can become like an average 3-point shooter, I think it's fine. But then there's his defense. Because he doesn't have his stats defensively. Like, he doesn't get a lot of steals or blocks. And his defensive mixtape is really non-existent. Here's the problem. Debonsa went to BYU, which is not a college basketball factory. I think they lost 5 players through the season due to season-ending injuries. So the team was basically Debonsa and nothing else. Coaches will tell players in these situations where it's a one-man offense, they will tell them to not try as hard on defense because they need them to get buckets. Because without that player at full strength, orchestrating everything, they won't be able to score. And they literally will tell players to try to not go, don't overextend yourself defensively. So my theory is, with BYU, Debonsa was told to not overextend himself on defense. So I think 3-point shooting, it's really weird. People always say if he develops a jump shot, if he just gets in the lab and shoots, there's more to it than that. Either you become a decent 3-point shooter or you don't. If Ben Simmons was a 3-point shot away from LeBron, well, he never got it. So, boo-hoo, he never became LeBron. So, if Debonsa could just become average, I don't think it's that big of a deal. He doesn't need to be Steph Curry shooting the ball. So, I have a friend of mine who's also a Wizards fan who wants Peterson first overall, which I don't. I mean, if we took Peterson, I wouldn't be outraged, but I would go Debonsa. But that leads us to Utah, who also, I believe they moved up in the lottery for the first time ever. Literally ever in their history, moving up in the lottery.
Really?
Of course, Utah's been a playoff team more often than not because they had Stockton and Malone for all those years in the 80s and 90s, making the playoffs every year. Then with Mitchell and Gobert, they were a consistent playoff team. They made a conference finals with Boozer in 2007. So they haven't exactly lived in the lottery, but this is the first time they've ever moved up. And they want Debonsa. I can tell you that for a fact. Because Debonsa went to BYU, obviously, like I just said. He probably wants to be in Utah. This might be the only situation ever where there's a superstar player who wants to play in Utah. Not just if I end up there, it's fine. You know, Donovan Mitchell, all right, I guess I'm playing here. He wants to be he wants to be there, like actively. He would choose Utah. So I saw it's kind of funny because I'm back and forth on this. I see, like, Utah media guys say the Jazz need to they need to give Washington, like, every single pick they have. You got to do whatever it takes to get this pick because he wants to be here. And there's part of me that says, if we want Peterson, and they want to give us a bunch of first-round picks and Ace Bailey, okay. There's another part of me that says, we wanted Ace Bailey last year. Ace Bailey tried to force his way here last year, and Utah said, shut up and dribble and picked him anyway. So part of me wants to tell Utah to kiss my ass and have fun with Creatine Man in Darren Peterson. But another side of me says, maybe be for the best. So I'm not too sure what they do. I would kind of like it if we flip spots and got a boatload of assets from Utah. Part of me would love it if Utah called and we told them to shove it. We wanted Ace Bailey. Hang up the phone. So I'm not too sure what the direction is, but either way, if it's DeBonce or Peterson, I think for the first time in maybe probably for the first time in my whole life, I'm really looking forward to watching the Wizards.
I think the Grizzlies are definitely a winner. They've got
Well, yeah,
3-16 here, so that's great. That's good for them.
well, Memphis
You talking about Ben
really,
Simmons? You talking about Ben Simmons made me think of the Colin clip, like when he was telling LeBron to move over because Ben
yeah.
Simmons is here.
Hey,
He
LeBron.
just won
I need to
a
add that to my
fishing
soundboard.
championship.
Ben Simmons, yeah, that's his new thing.
Yeah,
I love how
yeah.
everyone's making jokes like Ben Simmons going to the Guangdong Tigers. He doesn't like First of all, his back is killing him. Second of all, he doesn't like basketball enough to go play in China. Like he's not going to play anymore.
There's
He doesn't have to play anymore. He's made 9 figures. He can do whatever the hell he wants the rest of his life.
he's made so much money. He doesn't care.
I'm glad he's found his new hobby.
Yeah.
He seems to really like
Yeah,
fishing.
good for
So
him.
I'm glad he can find something else he enjoys doing. Because I do think with Ben
Fishing's
Simmons,
cool.
I really didn't like him when he was playing, but I do think it's a Jay Cutler situation where you don't like doing it, but it's your job, and you're so gifted, and you can make so much money in such a short period of time. You'd be a fool not to. Like I get it, all right, Jay Cutler, you don't like football, just play football for a few years, make $100-something million, and then go do whatever the hell you want. Ben Simmons, you don't like, okay, it's fine. You know, I'm trying to think of if I was more in touch with Hollywood, I would make this comparison with an actor. You don't like acting, just do a few movies, make a ton of money, win some awards, and then go do whatever the hell you want.
It's like how Johnny Depp doesn't like watching his movies.
Yeah, or
Like
like
he's never watched one of his movies.
like Tom Hanks doesn't like some of his own movies. Now that doesn't mean
Yeah.
he doesn't like to act, but that's my point. But so
You know what's crazy?
Hmm.
Christopher Walken's been in like 150 movies, and he said he's only watched like 20 of them. Like there's over 100 movies he's been in that he hasn't watched.
I'm wondering how
That's
much
crazy.
I'm wondering if I was in a movie, if I would actually like to watch the movie that I was in. Because whenever I do my, I don't know.
I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to.
Whenever I do my YouTube, whenever I do my videos, which by the way, to any of you watching who saw the Mike Martz video, thank you. That video is where we at right now.
It was a good video.
I have to listen through it again to add like the music and stuff. Are we at 60,000 views? Oh, 59,706. 6,000 watch
There we
hours.
go.
Shout out.
There we go.
I do have this. I do know what my next video is going to be. The script is on the way. I'm cooking. But anyway, so I don't know if I want to be in a movie that I watched. Like I saw. Do you remember the movie Cats that everyone hated?
No. Oh, Cats. Yeah. Yeah, Cats.
James
Yeah.
Corden was in that movie, and he said he heard that it was so bad he's never watched it.
I heard he's like the
Biggest
meanest person.
douche,
Yeah.
biggest douche in the world. Yeah, no one likes him. That's why he went and ran back to Europe. Or is he in Europe? I don't know. Whatever he's doing.
I thought he's been in Europe. Well, he's
I don't-
English.
Yeah, I don't
He
get
is-
why some.
yeah.
We're getting way off topic. I don't get why some movies cast people that no one likes. Like, did you see Barbie?
Yeah.
Did you know
Yeah, I saw
Barbie was
Barbie.
almost Amy Schumer?
No.
They wanted Amy Schumer to be. You're asking for your
That's-
movie to flop.
That'd be crazy.
These studios need to.
Terrible.
I don't get why these companies don't hire like a 20-year-old who lives on the internet to just be tapped into everything, and ask them like
Yeah.
do people like Amy Schumer? What does Twitter say? And then the guy could be like, no, don't do that, and pay him minimum
Yeah.
wage to keep him tapped in. But anyway, we're getting way off topic. Could you imagine if Amy Schumer was
Crazy.
Barbie? It would have been cut in by 75%. No one would have liked. People would have been more willing to criticize the movie because it's Amy Schumer because no one likes her. You go from that to
Barbenheimer.
I mean, wow.
That was the best. That was like the best summer ever. 2023. We had Barbenheimer. We had the Grimace Shake. We had what else? We had a lot of good stuff. I remember that summer very fondly.
I did not indulge in any of that stuff. I did not see either movie, and I never had the Grimace Shake.
I got a Grimace Shake every week
Is it grape
when it was
flavored?
here. No, it's like Did you ever have the blue raspberry Twix or whatever it
No,
was called?
I don't like
It,
raspberries.
it well, blue raspberry's fake. It doesn't taste like raspberry. It's like it tastes like blue raspberry. You know how like grape gum doesn't taste like grape? It tastes
Yeah.
like grape gum. It's
Yes.
like that. It
Okay.
was like that mixed with vanilla.
I do
But it
like
was
those.
it was it was great. That was a great summer for other
Okay.
reasons too that I can't get into. But
Anyway,
let's give it.
lottery. The other big winner is the Bulls. They were. Let me tell
Where
you
are
something
they?
really. They're fourth. I think
4-15.
they went from 9 to 4, so they jumped up. So they're probably going to get Caleb Wilson out of North Carolina. They finally seem committed to getting out of the mud of the play-in tournament that they've been stuck in for the last like 4 or 5 years. I did see in a different Discord that I'm in when the lottery was being revealed and it revealed the Bulls got the fourth overall pick. A Bulls fan typed, "We can't even tank right." I don't want to say I want to slap people, but sometimes I want to slap somebody. You jump
I
from 9 to 4 and you're complaining like, oh my god, you're insufferable.
I think that the NBA just has such a reputation for being so top heavy that if you don't have a top three pick, like the Bulls are four, and I could see Bulls fans being so underwhelmed with that,
But
like not even
you
care,
were supposed to get
you
9,
know?
so boo hoo.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's specifically in this draft. If this was the Wembanyama draft, I mean, obviously Victor Wembanyama will go 1, and then it's Brandon Miller and then Scoot. Casual alert. I'm trying to remember who went fourth, but I believe
I don't remember who
it
went
was
fourth.
believed that there was a big drop off after 3, and some
What team is
drafts.
this? What
Who?
what logo is this?
I already.
Five. Who's
That's
five?
the Clippers. We'll get into that in a minute.
Oh, that's the Clippers logo. That's
Oh,
horrible.
I like it. Oh, Amen Thompson went fourth. Never
Yeah.
mind. Amen's great. I take that back. But my point is, in this draft, there's a big drop off after 4, but you got 4. Like the top 4, it's
Yeah.
Devonta, Peterson, Cameron Boozer, and Caleb Wilson. You're being the ninth worst team, being projected ninth, and then getting Caleb Wilson is massive. And I think Caleb Wilson is going to be great. I would argue that it might be better than Boozer, but that's like my spicy take. But Boozer's probably going third to Memphis. But
Hmm.
that takes us to another winner in the Clippers. So here's how this works.
Yeah.
Here's how this works. Obviously, last year, the Pacers were in Game 7 of the Finals. Halliburton tears his Achilles. They lose. Halliburton sits out for the entire next season. And for the Pacers are like, okay, this is a gap year. We are going to take this year off. Next year, we'll be contending again. And the Pacers decided to take a risk. They traded a top 4 protected pick to the Clippers for Ivica Zubac, the center, who's a very good center who will help them more. He will probably help them more than the 5th overall pick would have next year. But it was top 4 protected. The Pacers took that gamble and said, hopefully our pick will still be in the top 4 and we can keep it. Lo and behold, the pick becomes 5th overall. They don't get a pick at all. It goes to the Clippers. They traded the 5th overall pick for Ivica Zubac, who is a good player,
Yeah.
but ouch, that's a team that's feeling the hurt. They had just as good of a
Mhm.
chance as the Wizards or Nets to get the number
Yeah.
1 overall pick. That bottom 3, and they fell out. They don't even get a pick at all. So
Damn.
it is interesting. Let's say the Pacers get the 4th pick. It's like, would Caleb Wilson help them more than Zubac? Probably not. But I thought it was kind of funny how Kevin Pritchard, their GM, went on Twitter and like apologized and said, I thought we were due for some luck. Which I respect, trying to like make that statement to your fans and be transparent. You also, the odds of you falling out of the top 4 was like a coin flip.
Yeah.
So your Garrett, if anything, you would have been lucky to stay in the top 4. I want to say you had more than a 50-50 shot of dropping to 5 or 6, which of course 6 was Brooklyn, which that's a team that's also just screwed. And that's where the whole thing with the lottery comes into play.
Yeah.
Because
The Nets are like,
Because next year, you could fall to 12 if you're the worst team in the league. You could fall to 12 as the worst team in the league. So this kind of felt like the last gasp for one of these really bad teams to get out of the mud before the lottery odds flatten and potentially kill their future.
Yeah.
So that shows you how badly the Wizards needed this. So thank God. In reality,
Yeah.
as long as we didn't fall to 5, I would have been okay with it. If we got the 4th overall pick,
Yeah.
I would have been happy, but I would have been fine with it. I would have woken up the next morning and not dreaded it. But Brooklyn falls to 6. What blows for them is that they traded a bunch of picks to get their picks back so they could tank. They wanted to tank, but they didn't have their picks. So they traded other picks to get their original picks back so they could have a chance at the lottery and they get the 6th overall pick. So I don't really know where they go from here because what's their roster looking like? What, it's Cam? You have Cam Thomas. Or no, you don't have Cam Thomas. He's out of the league. I'm an idiot. You have Michael Porter Jr., which y'all won that trade. I'll give you that. Cam Johnson has been a non-factor for the
Nets,
Denver Nuggets.
I think the Nets are a hopeless franchise. They have no fans. They have no identity. They have no anything. They don't have a franchise player.
Nick
like
Claxton,
a defining.
Terrence Mann,
Yeah, Claxton.
Michael Porter Jr., Igor Demon.
Yeah, they're
No, bro.
dude.
I'm
You
sorry.
couldn't.
Sorry. No.
If you can't win the finals with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Blake Griffin, like still like okay Blake Griffin, you don't deserve to be a team.
Well,
Like you shouldn't exist.
Injuries, foot on the line, injuries. I think if that Brooklyn team was fully healthy, they would have won the title. But Kyrie got hurt. He missed those last couple games in the Milwaukee series. Harden played hurt and was bad like he always is in
it
games.
just
that was.
It was. I think they only played like 20 something games together. All three of them. I
thought it was like 18 or something.
Yeah.
I thought it was worse.
No, it was something really. Yeah, it was like.
It's not that they
so
couldn't
don't
get
even
it
get.
done. It's not that they couldn't get it done. They never played together. They clearly didn't like each other.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but the great teams are the guys that fake it. Jeter and A-Rod didn't like each other, but they faked it.
They're friends now. They're cool now.
Not really. Are they? I don't think so.
Yeah.
They don't hate each. They don't hate each other. But I saw a clip from that documentary about Jeter, and they talked about their beef, and they didn't seem very happy with each other. I don't know. Maybe they're.
Well, no, they're.
I guess they do the show together. Yeah, they're commentators.
They're fine. They're fine now. Yeah, they're fine now.
Maybe they buried the hatchet, but they'll never be friends like they were before. Like they used to be like.
They're all. Yeah, but they're
they were made fun of for it because they were so close.
They're old and they don't care anymore. It's like who cares?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying
I don't know where the Nets go from here. That's the problem. At least with Indiana, you should be good next year because Zubats will still help you. It sucks that you traded the 5th pick for Zubats, but you should be fine. That's a very good, very deep, well-coached roster. So if Halliburton comes back and is up and running, they're in the mix next year. If you look at these other teams that fell, actually we'll get to some of these teams that didn't do so well. Actually, no, the Sacramento Kings are another. The Kings might be the biggest losers after Indiana, actually, because they're another team that's just so trapped. Because we talked about this before the recording started. They were so bad for so long. They couldn't. They picked Marvin Bagley over Luka. They picked Tyreek Evans over James Harden and Steph Curry. They picked They picked Jimmer Fredette over Klay Thompson. They can't get it right. They
don't hit on anything.
I think some franchises are just not capable of hitting.
02 was their year. 02 was their year, and they got robbed. They got whistled.
The real middle finger to Sacramento is the fact that down the stretch in the season, I don't know if I have the tweet saved, but it was about the Kings, because they were tanking like everyone else. I mean, a good quarter of the league was just running up the losses in the last month and change, so they could have a chance at a top pick, and then they fell to 7. I don't think it's here, but they won 3 games in the last couple weeks of the season to tie them with Utah. I think they had the same record as Utah, and they flipped a coin to decide where the standings would go. The Kings lost the toss, went below them in the standings by 1 spot. Utah jumped to 2, Sacramento fell to 7. So they won a bunch of games that didn't matter. One loss that didn't mean anything. They'd have the second overall pick, and they'd be getting Darren Peterson or whoever they fancy. No, and then they pick freaking Darius Acuff or something. But so that's another team, because it makes you wonder, what do they do? Because let me pull up the Kings. Let me pull up the Kings roster. Let's pull.
I don't even know who's on the Kings. I don't even know who's on the Kings anymore.
They have Sabonis, obviously.
Yes. Okay.
Who's bad on defense. Which unless it's Jokic, you don't do that. That's like a rule of thumb.
Yeah.
So let's look at this. Listen to this roster.
Playoffs? Did they make the playoffs one time with DeMarcus Cousins?
No.
Right? Yeah, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
No.
Listen to this Kings roster. Let's see. DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook, Zach LaVine, Sabonis, DeAndre Hunter. Let's see. Doug McDermott, Malik Monk, Precious Achiuwa. No, bro. And that's kind of what you're stuck with. You got the 7th overall pick.
Well, that roster would have been awesome like 8 years ago.
No, it wouldn't have. That team wouldn't have fit then. The fit is not there in their prime. Okay.
That would have been an epic NBA 2K franchise 6 seed.
That would be a fun.
That would have been awesome.
This team would be fun to play with in 2K. They would be fun in the 80s when three-point shooting wasn't a thing. But you have Westbrook, who is always driving to the rim and can't shoot threes. You have DeMar DeRozan, who operates in the mid-range and doesn't really shoot threes. You have Zach LaVine, who loves a dunk and doesn't really shoot a lot of threes. Or maybe he does. Maybe he's... You know what? Am I misrepresenting Zach LaVine? Okay, no, he shot 39% from 3. Okay, maybe I'm being a hater. 19 points, 48%. Okay, 39% from 3. Zach LaVine can shoot threes, but he's not exactly a sniper.
Yeah.
So this team doesn't make sense in their prime, and here they are in 2026 trying to make it work. Shout out Westbrook, because he's out here playing. How many games did Westbrook play? Let's pull this up. 35-year-old Westbrook or something. Is he 35?
Is he only 35? Is he only 35?
Oh, sorry, he's 37. He's 37.
Yeah.
He played 64 games. For a club that went 22-60, Westbrook is out here playing at 37 years old, playing 64 games. You can tell he just loves basketball. So shout out to Westbrook.
I like Russell Westbrook. He's just he like the year he won MVP. And the Thunder missed the playoffs by 1 game as an 8 seed. He was like, I don't care about He's like, I don't care about the scoring title, because someone asked him.
They didn't.
Someone asked him, like, you know.
They made. They made it
as an 8 seed.
No, they were a 6 seed. Are you talking about Westbrook's MVP year, or a year where he was a finalist and didn't win it?
One of those years, it was. They missed the playoffs by 1 game because another team won on the last day and snuck in, and someone asked either, does the scoring title or the MVP? It must have been the scoring title. They asked, does the scoring title make up for missing the playoffs? And he was like, I don't give a shit about the scoring title. He was so mad. So yeah, he just wants to win, but I also think at this point, you know, he's 37.
Oh yeah,
he just wants to play basketball. Yeah, he just wants to play basketball.
He loves hoops. I mean, he was in the Lakers and it was a disaster, and they were like, so was this season a disappointment? And he says, yeah, I didn't average a triple-double like I did last year, so it was a disappointment. I'm like, what? I'm like, huh? You missed the play-in. It was a disappointment because you didn't get a triple-double? You know, Westbrook's a character, but shout out. He's one of the most passionate players of all time. So I'm glad he's so grinding out in Sacramento for a 60-loss team. Yeah. He's making money.
Also,
but anyway...
kind of speaking of Westbrook,
that's enough.
You want to... Yeah, I was going to say, you want to pivot to the conference finals, because it just made me think of the 2013 James Harden trade for Jeremy Lamb.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because you want to talk about the Knicks? Oh yeah, the Knicks. Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously, y'all saw the Knicks pulled off a stunning Game 1 comeback over the Cavaliers to go up 1-0. This
I
feels
turned it off, so I don't know what you're talking about. I went to
yeah.
bed.
I was playing Cyberpunk the whole time, and I wasn't really tapped in. I'm playing the DLC. It's a lot of fun. The game turns into like a horror simulator at the
I
final.
like the show. I like
The
the show.
final.
I didn't love
Uh,
the game.
did you even play? How much of the game did you play?
I played it on launch, and it was unplayable, and
Oh
I never
yeah, it was
played it
on. Oh
again.
yeah, it was unplayable on
I
launch.
I heard it's good now. I heard it's good now.
It is. It's awesome.
Yeah, I heard it's fun.
It's a ton of fun.
And there's some references to the show in the game, which I
Oh,
think is cool.
there's okay. So let's see. Pull up the series. Pull up Game 1. The Knicks ended up winning by 11, which is pretty funny. After all.
Yeah.
So, okay, I have it pulled up here. So here's my thing with the I don't have much to say about the Knicks. Jalen Brunson 38 points. My lord, 15 to 29, 1 of 6 from 3. That's not good. Only 10 free throws. Josh Hart was a minus 23. That won't do you much, but this is my whole thing. I have been making fun of James Harden forever for being the playoff dropper. Because I absolutely hated watching him in Houston when he was in his prime. The step back threes and the bumping into the defender to initiate contact to draw the foul. I hated the way he played. It was like he found a loophole. It's like he's playing a video game and he found a glitch and is just exploiting it over and over to never lose. That's what bugged me. But I've been kind of off of the James Harden hate train ever since he stopped doing that and has become more of a traditional point guard, floor distributor, passer. I enjoy watching him more now than I did when he was in his prime, which is kind of weird to say, but I hate to beat a dead horse about James Harden in the playoffs, but let's see here. 15 points, 5 for 16, 1 of 8 from 3, 3 assists and 6 turnovers in 42 minutes.
Yeah, you can't play like that.
Donovan Mitchell, 4 of 11
I think
from
Mitchell
3.
had a good game,
Mitchell had a good
right?
game. 29 points, 12 of 23. Only 1 free throw. Donovan Mitchell had 6 steals. He had 6 steals.
Yeah. We
The
had a
thing
lot of turnovers.
Weirdly enough, the
Yeah.
thing I remember most about that game was when I don't know if it's Merrill or Morrell. I think it's Sam Merrill. Took the a game-winning shot attempt that kind of rimmed out.
Merrill.
Merrill. And Mike Breen had the bang ready. And then it rimmed down and he went, Merrill for the lead! Bat off the rim! he had to pump fake a bang, which I found funny. But I think the Knicks won like an 18-1 run or something. I think that's what
Yeah.
tied it or made it close.
Yeah.
It feels kind of silly because when the Cavs traded for Harden, it was Harden for Darius Garland, and part of me said, on paper this makes sense because you need a distributor, a passer, a playmaker, that kind of guard to kind of orchestrate the offense. Because you keep going out early in the playoffs. You were the 1 seed last year, and you got packed up in 5 games in the second round. So you need to change something.
Yeah.
The other side of me said, you are looking for someone to improve your playoff chances, and you traded for James Harden. So
Yeah.
that doesn't compute.
The only time he was ever in the finals, he was a bench player.
This band is great, but we don't have a singer.
was-
I got it. My band doesn't have a good singer. I got it. Let's go get Bob Dylan. Like, what are you talking about?
I love Bob Dylan.
He writes great songs.
seen-
He's a smart guy. He can't sing to save his life.
I'm seeing him in July.
Sh-
I'm so
It'll be a
excited.
good show. Bob Dylan's very talented, very successful. He's a great songwriter. Can't sing. Same thing with Bruce Springsteen. Great writer, cannot sing.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a
Dude,
song.
I listen to We Are the World.
Yeah.
It's one of the funniest things of all time. It goes from singer to singer. Some of them are so great. Michael Jackson's great. Whitney Houston's great. Steve Perry's great. You have all these great singing voices, and then it cuts to Bruce
Bob
Springsteen.
Dylan.
And then it cuts to Bruce
Oh,
Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen.
We are the whoa, like you're not singing. You're screaming. You're not singing. So, anyway, the Cavaliers said we need playoff power. Let's go trade for James Harden. So, again, it makes
So,
sense because you needed a passer and a
did
distributor.
the
And
Rockets? Did the Rockets ever? They made one conference final, right?
they
And they
made a
lost to the
couple.
Warriors.
They made a
Oh,
couple.
multiple?
They made it in 28. This is off the dome. They made it in 2018. That's the year they should have. I don't know why I have my arms like this. They
Yeah.
should have won the championship, and then Chris Paul got hurt. I think they made it in. Do you remember when they came back from down 3-1 against the Lob City Clippers? That was the whole thing.
Uh,
That was the second round.
that was
I
like
think that was
that
2015, if I'm not
was
mistaken.
14 or 15. No way, because 14 was. Oh no, yeah. Wait, 2014 was.
It was 15. It was 15.
That
Yeah,
was. It was 15. Yeah, because
it was
2014
15.
was Spurs Thunder. 2014 was Spurs Thunder.
15 was Rockets Warriors. They lost in 5. 2016 was
Yeah,
Warriors Thunder. 17
yeah.
was Warriors. Who the Warriors beat in the conference finals that year? The year they had Kevin Durant.
Blazers. Blazers.
Oh no, it was San Antonio.
When
Oh
did
yeah,
they beat the Blazers?
because then no, hold on. Then San Antonio beat Houston that year when Manu Ginobili blocked Harden from behind. And then in 2019 it was the Blazers. So
Okay.
the Harden Rockets made it twice because that was a good team. And when Harden
Yeah.
was so bad in Game 6 against the Clippers, he got benched. Josh Smith and Corey Brewer came in and came back, which crazy
Yeah.
to me. But shout out Josh Smith and Corey Brewer. But as for your Knicks, I'm still not positive
Yes.
about if the Knicks can win the series because Evan Mobley and Jared Allen have been able to give Cat such a hard time. So I'm not sure. That's where the Cavs kind of bug me. But if I don't know if you want to get anything off about the Knicks.
I I think on paper we're the better team. I like our roster a lot more than the the Cavs. And Brunson's but the truth is that if Brunson wasn't playing like he was, we wouldn't be where we are right now. Because Towns has been pretty good, not great. OG was hurt. Hart he scored a lot of points last game. Bridges is always good. Robinson is a guy. So I like I like what I like what what we have going. I think we'll win the series, but I don't think we'll win the finals.
Well, my thing is, I actually don't agree. I actually think the Cavs roster is better on paper, and that's my problem with the Cavs. They're such a stacked on paper roster. Harden, Mitchell, Mobley, Jared Allen. That's a great four. Let me pull this team up. Dean Wade had a good game, did he not? Dean Wade had 10 points. 3
Yeah,
for
he
5.
did. He did some stuff. Yeah.
They have pieces. Dennis Schroeder 1 for 9. That won't cut it. But
Yeah.
I think the Cavs on paper should win the series, but that's the problem. The Cavs on paper should always win the series against teams they play in the East, and it never happens because there's too many games where Donovan Mitchell isn't shooting well, or James Harden shoots 1 for 12 or whatever and turns it over 15 times. There's too many games where Evan Mobley's not really a factor on offense. There's too many ifs surrounding the Cavs, and that's my issue. I think on paper they're the best team in the East, but they never play up to those standards. They don't play up to those standards. The Knicks are deeper. I think the Knicks are better coached. I think they were better coached when it was Thibodeau, but I guess Mike Brown's doing a fine job himself.
He's okay. Yeah, he's good.
Ultimately, I don't think the head coach of the Knicks matters all that. I don't know how much coaches matter because they get cycled in and out every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Whenever they need a scapegoat for when they lose, they can fire the coach. They can say we're making changes when in reality, it's mostly
unless you're Steve Kerr.
It's the same thing in the NHL where it feels like it's the same 36 coaches being cycled in over and over and over. It's the same people.
Yeah.
Why is John? I know it's GM. Why is John Chayka running a hockey team? Are you kidding me? Why? Because he's done it before. He has experience. But
Hmm.
same thing in the NBA. Mike Brown's been around the league, so I actually think the
Long time,
Cavs.
yeah.
I think the Knicks will win the series too because the Cavs don't play up to their potential. I actually think
Hmm.
it's a bad. I know they were the lower seed. I think they should have beaten Detroit in 5 or 6. I hate to call the Pistons a fake
Yeah.
1 seed, but they feel like a fake 1 seed because that roster, outside of Cade, in my opinion, is not good. I mean,
They almost lost to Orlando. That
and
was too tight of a series.
they needed to pull off the comeback of comebacks to beat the Magic in Game 6. I mean, you
Yeah,
look
to
at this roster.
beat a play in.
Cade has unlocked another level. I think he is on the verge, if not already, a top 5 player in the league.
I thought that series went to 7.
It did,
Weren't the Magic up 3-1? Oh,
yeah,
oh, yeah.
but
I thought you
they
said 6.
but like I think if you look at the best players in the league, SGA, Wemby, Jokic, Giannis, and after at 5, Cade, Luca. I don't know. That's where it becomes a discussion. But then you look at the rest of this Pistons roster. Ron Holland, Duncan Robinson, Asar Thompson,
Tobias
Jalen,
Harris, the
Tobias
GOAT.
Harris, Jalen Duren. He can kiss that whatever max contract Jalen Duren was looking for. You can kiss that goodbye. Karis LeVert, shout out Big Stu, Kevin Herter. This
Dude, I'm old.
hold
I'm
on.
old. Tobias Harris was
All right.
drafted in 2011.
He's been
Jeez.
around the like all of these players are cast-offs. Jalen Duren was so bad in the playoffs that they had to bench him and give more minutes to Paul Reed. Do you know who that is? Do you know who Paul Reed is?
No,
Exactly.
I'm looking at him now. I don't
He
think I've
was
seen this guy's face before.
Paul Reed was Embiid's backup when he was healthy and amazing when he was actually
Whoa.
playing.
He was the G League MVP in 2021.
There you go. Shout out
That's
Paul
pretty
Reed.
sick.
But the Pistons got
Pretty
better.
good.
The Pistons were actually playing better when Paul Reed was getting minutes at center over Jalen Duren. And the
Yeah.
fact that the Cavs, in turn roster-wise, beat the Pistons in spades, and it went 7 games, I'm not very impressed about them winning that series because I feel like you should have won that series in 5, maybe 6. I mean, Cade's great.
Hmm.
So I've always been kind of bullish on the Cavs. And then Toronto went 7. Why are you going to 7 with Toronto? Despite how much
Yeah.
more talented you are and the potential of your roster. So
Yeah.
what's like a football equivalent of the Cavs? Low key, is it the Ravens? Maybe.
Chargers.
Charge. Well, the Cavs win playoff rounds. They could advance to the second round.
Um.
The Chargers can't. Whatever. You know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Is that it for about? Do we actually San Antonio OKC.
Yeah.
Game 2 happened the other day. I actually didn't. You're gonna have to excuse me. I did not watch Game 2. I'm gonna be a box score watcher.
I didn't
know the
see-
Thunder. I know the Thunder
I
tied the
missed
series.
it.
I know the Thunder tied
Yeah, they
the
won.
series. How many? San Antonio won by 9. No, not San Antonio. OKC won by 9. But Game 1, I gotta tell you something.
That was a great game. I watched that game. That was
Um,
awesome.
This is my question. This is kind of a first take ass question. Is Wembanyama already the best player on planet Earth? Like, can we just say it?
Yeah, he's insane. I think the Thunder won last night because I think they just kind of tried to shut him down. Like that was their entire game plan. But it also it shows that that game 1 I think showed that the Thunder, they're not invincible. I don't think they're invincible. They went to Game 7. They won it all, but they went to Game 7
Twice.
last year in the finals. Yeah. Who'd they sweep round 1? Phoenix.
This year?
Yeah. Was it Phoenix?
Yes.
And then they swept the Lakers. I think it was the Suns. I'm pretty
San
sure it was the
Antonio.
Suns.
Who's San Antonio? Oh no, yeah, because San Antonio beat the Blazers, and then it
Yeah,
was the
the
Suns.
Wolves.
It was
Yeah,
the
then they
Suns.
beat the Wolves. And then the Thunder swept, the corpse of LeBron James with the
Was it a
Lakers.
sweep? It was a sweep. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a sweep. Yeah, the whole thing was they're going in undefeated into the series, and then
Yeah.
they lose. But it's they've shown that they can lose. So I don't want to just write off the Spurs because they won without Fox. De'Aaron Fox didn't play,
Yeah.
as much as I like Stephon Castle, my UConn goat, he was a borderline liability.
Yeah, that was.
Turnovers, fouls, the whole shebang,
But the
and but the Thunder, the Spurs still pulled it off. Wembanyama had an awesome game.
the problem
Um,
with Castle is that the way to stop him on offense is to make him an outside shooter, and that's the problem with a lot of guards. Game 2 against the Thunder, he was 1 for 6 from three, 5 of 14
yeah,
shooting, 1 of 6 from three. You go to Game 1, Castle was actually he was 5 of 7 from three. No, this is Game 6
yeah,
against the Wolves. Sorry, this is Game 6 against the Wolves. Game 1 against the Thunder, he was 1 of 6 from three. Game 2 against the Thunder, he was also 1 of 6 from three. So he's 2 for 12 from three in this Thunder series so far. So that's kind
yeah,
of my thing with Castle's a very good player. I mean,
yeah. He's
I'm not
good.
taking that from him,
Yeah,
but
of
that's kind of
course.
his. That's kind of my concern. How do you beat this guard? Make him shoot threes. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
How tall is Castle?
Uh,
He's six
he's
foot. Okay,
probably like
he's 6'6". He's
6'3".
6'6". He's
Oh,
not
he's
okay.
6'6". Okay.
That's decent
Everyone
size for a
looks
guard.
small compared to Wendy.
Yeah, 33% 3-point shooter, Stephon Castle. So
Yeah.
I don't know,
Like
but who cares? Wembanyama was pulling off from the logo and hitting it, so maybe it just doesn't matter.
yeah.
That's why part of me thinks that Wembanyama is already the best player in the world because if you take, how about this? Let's do a little experiment. Let's take the Thunder minus SGA. Let's take the Spurs minus Wembanyama. The Thunder are still the way better
I
team.
think the Thunder are still better. Yeah, way
Well, I
better.
guess J Dub's been hurt, but let's play the when healthy game. Chet, J
Yeah.
Dub, Caruso, Hartenstein, Casey Wallace, the other Jalen Williams because there's two of them. It's
Yeah,
a
there's two
very
of them.
deep roster. The Spurs have
It's a good
pieces.
team.
The Spurs have pieces, but when you think of the Spurs, you think of Wembanyama, and
Yeah.
then you add,
When
but then
I
you give the Thunder SGA, who's the reigning back-to-back MVP, and then you give the Spurs Wembanyama, and we're like, I don't know, maybe the Spurs can take him because I think you're right. I'm not writing off San Antonio either. I
yeah.
would It feels wrong to say the reigning back-to-back MVP isn't the best player in the league, but I'm sitting there watching Wembanyama just take over Game 1. He broke his minutes
Mhm.
record and dropped 40 and
Yeah.
20 against the best team in the league. What more do you need? What
Yeah.
more do you need to see? I remember last
I
year they were doing like the debates of who's the best player, and I'm like,
yeah.
and when someone brought up Wembanyama, they say, "Hey, we gotta wait and see." What are you waiting for? If he can do it in the
Yeah.
playoffs, what do you mean? Can he do it in the playoffs? He's like 7'5". He's gonna do it in the
I
playoffs.
think how do I say this? I think Shy is better at
Shy.
getting is Shay.
It's Shea. Come on now.
It looks like Shy.
No, it doesn't. Anyway, sorry.
Yes,
Go
it
ahead.
does.
Go ahead.
He's better at um like getting himself in position to make plays, but Wembanyama is better at making the play. You know what I mean? Like just because of his sheer size.
My thing is, this could get into a thing about the Thunder and like the whole conversations about the whistle and how they get calls. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't think NBA discourse has ever been more whiny. I've never seen so often a team loses. I go to Twitter and they're all blaming the referees because of all the discussions around SGA and the whistle he gets. SGA draws a lot of fouls because at least he was, he's either the best or the second best player in the league, whose main skill is his offense, whose main attribute in terms of scoring points is driving to the basket. So no duh is going to get fouled a lot. The aesthetic can be
Yeah.
annoying, but I don't like the whistle conversation around SGA. He knows how to draw contact, but he either is or was the best player in the league until a few days ago, who drives to the basket more than anything else.
Yeah.
He's hard to guard, so you foul him. It's kind of how it works. I've seen
Yeah.
SGA shoot a lot of free throws, and they say he's not good, which
That's
I
a
don't know.
stupid. That's a
I don't
stupid take.
I
That's
don't.
yeah. That's
I
a
don't like all the.
that's a
Of
dumb
course,
take.
the discourse was rampant tenfold when it was the Lakers, because God forbid the
Yeah.
Lakers are not as good as people say they are.
I think both the Knicks and the Cavs can beat the Spurs. I don't know about the Thunder. I think if the Thunder make it, I think they just win again.
Oh
I
yeah.
think the team's too good.
I think the
Yeah.
Western Conference. I
In
think
a,
the Western Conference Finals is the finals, respectfully.
yeah. Yeah.
Which how
I
it's been
think
for the last like 40 years.
yeah, I'm just saying that I think the East teams just have the better shot against the Spurs.
Oh yeah.
It's just kind of, yeah, that's not
Well,
really a hot take. This Spurs team kind of reminds me of in the sense of a mega superstar, a young mega superstar, and then just like a solid team all around is the '07 Cavs. That first Cavs LeBron team where it
God,
was,
yeah.
LeBron making, young guy making all the crazy good plays and then getting to the finals. And then, it's funny because they got swept by the Spurs, but I'm trying to make that comparison of a team that did get this far because of the young superstar.
Well, to that, I mean, I get what you're saying, but also the Spurs supporting cast is solid. The '07 cast team, you took LeBron off of that team, they became the worst team in the league. So it's not identical, but I get what you're saying. But now, I think that's about it for basketball. We do want to talk about hockey for a little bit. Quick couple minutes on the lottery. We won't be as in depth about the lottery for hockey as we were basketball because I don't think there's as much to
Yeah.
say. But what do you think about the Leafs? For the second time in 11 years, the Leafs were in the lottery, and for the second time in 11 years, they won the lottery. And I assume they'll pick the Gavin McKenna kid out of Penn State. So what
Yeah.
do you think about the Leafs? The Rangers get, I think, like the fifth pick.
Yeah. I didn't follow hockey really at all this year just because of how bad the Rangers were. So I don't have a strong opinion on this draft. So I'll leave this one up to you. I don't really have it. The Leafs are just the Leafs. Nothing's going to change.
I mean, the core of a team that was in contention every year is still there. You still have Matthews and Nylander and John Tavares, but nothing ever clicked. None of the trades they made worked. They let Marner go. They brought in Nick Waugh. That didn't. I don't know if Nick Waugh was good, but they traded for Brandon Carlo. That didn't work. Overall, a disaster season. And I just remember because Craig Berube got fired, the head coach of the Leafs, and I think before that the GM and co got fired. Then they brought in freaking John Chayka, which, wow, that would literally. I'm not joking. That would be like if a team that just fired their GM hired Gettleman to replace him. Let's bring back Gettleman. Like I'm not joking, because Chayka was a nightmare in Arizona. So the new Leafs regime comes in, and it brings me back to the old one where Craig Berube was being thrown. He was being, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Raked over the coals all the time because the Leafs kept losing. And all the reports saying, yeah, man, Berube isn't getting through to the players. He's not getting through to the players. He's not getting through to the players. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, Mike Babcock couldn't get through to the players. And then Sheldon Keefe couldn't get through to the players. And now Craig Berube can't get through to the players. Maybe the coach isn't the problem. Maybe the coach that won a Stanley... Maybe Coach Craig Berube, former Stanley Cup champion, isn't the problem. If all the other coaches also can't get through to the players, now Berube can't get through to them, maybe it's not the coach. I wouldn't blame the players as much as I would blame the front office who put that group of players together. But there are times when the Leafs are clicking and they look dominant, and like even last year in the Florida series that went 7 games, there are moments that look fantastic. William Nylander had moments where he looked like the best player on the ice. Game 5 against Florida, he's a ghost. Game 7 against Florida, he's a ghost. Mitch Marner never does a damn thing in the playoffs for Toronto. I think in 20 of games 5 through 7 in Marner's Leafs career, I don't think he scored one. He might have had 1 goal. I actually don't think he scored 1 goal. And
really?
Now, yeah, and I think he had like 5 assists. Yeesh. And now he's in Vegas, everyone's favorite team. And in these playoffs, Marner leads the league with 19 points. He leads the NHL in playoff points this year in Vegas. This is, okay, Marner has played in the postseason every single year of his career, excluding, unless you don't count the bubble year when they lost in the qualifier and technically did not make the playoffs. If you don't count that, that's different. But they played postseason hockey every year of his career, and these are his points by year. You ready for this? 4, 9, 4, 4, 4, 8, 14 in 2023. That's when they beat the Lightning in advanced. 3
For the first time in a billion
yeah,
years.
3, 13, and now 19. He has the most points, and he has the best plus minus in the league in the playoffs at plus 13 with
Damn.
Vegas, who again is everyone's favorite team. I actually read a study that they're the most hated team in America.
In America.
Yes, they go like out of their way. It's actually funny. They go out of their way to make people not like them, and different groups of people hate them for different reasons. The old school hockey fans hate them because they believe they were given such a mulligan in their first. Mulligan's not the right word. They were given such a helping hand in their first expansion draft. And to that I say, when they drafted all the players, we all thought they'd suck, and it turns out it was a great core. And
Yeah.
I liked them then, believe it or not. The Capitals beat them in the Cup final, and I liked what they were doing. I respected it because they found all the angry old heads in hockey and told them to shove it and said, "Too bad we're here and we're better than you. We're going to do what the Toronto Maple Leafs haven't done in 50 years, and you're going to cry about it." But then they lose to San Jose the next year. They blow the 3-0 lead, and they spend all year whining about the referees, which you know how I feel about that. And not just fans. And again, same thing like with the Buffalo Bills. It's not just fans. It's the organization. And their social media, their Twitter account, blaming the referees. So I've never liked them since. And now they signed Carter Hart, which, that's a whole thing.
Yeah, and now that they have a cup win, it's just
they want a cup.
It's like now you could just now the fans could just kind of always hold that over everyone else's.
And of course, Marner becomes a playoff demon as soon as he leaves the Leafs. So, my point is,
I think the Avalanche. I think the Avs kill him though.
Vegas is up 1-0.
Did it start? Oh, it started. Okay.
Yeah, Vegas beat him. I want to say it was 3-1. I think was the final score. Let's find out. It might have been 3-0. I know Vegas was up 3-0 at one point. I don't think that was the final score.
Damn.
Vegas beat them 4-2. Okay, 4-2.
Oh wow. The Canadians are up 3-1 right now.
Hurricanes.
3-1
Oh, snap.
on the Canes. Are the Hurricanes going to hurricane again?
If Montreal making the Cup final again would actually be pretty sick.
This is their year. The Hurricanes need to do it right now.
Oh, yeah.
They need to win it right now.
They're not going to get as good of a draw again. Florida's not in their way. Tampa's not in their way. Well, I guess Tampa.
No, they have to.
I guess Tampa beating them was a while ago.
They need to beat the Habs and then pray the Knights beat the Avalanche.
A Vegas Carolina Stanley Cup final would make like all of Canada self-destruct. Could you imagine a Vegas Carolina Cup final? I guess it was Vegas Florida, which is probably worse.
Teams in these warm weather states is like, I don't know. I still find it weird that
Dallas
all these southern teams are good at the same time. It's just kind of funny. It's just funny to me.
Well, also I think it's because a lot of the southern hockey teams, at least in recent years, are like, we got to win or fans aren't going to show up. I mean, Florida's like, we got to do something here. I went on this rant in the first episode about how they made a proactive move by flipping Huberdeau for Tkachuk. They didn't have to. They had just won the President's Trophy and they traded their leading scorer. They did not have to do that. But they wanted to. They said, this team isn't good enough, even though we just won a series. Let's retool back-to-back cups in short order. So, and then Dallas, Tampa, they fill the crowds when they're winning. But is the hockey team in Tampa Bay gonna get a lot of fans if the team is in last place? Maybe some, but
no.
Montreal could be as good or as bad as they want. They'll fill their stadium every night. I mean,
but Tampa as a whole is not like this sports. Like, they've had good teams, of course. The Lightning had their run. The Bucks have won a couple of Super Bowls, but like they
The
could
Rays are
not
great, right?
care less about the
Yeah,
Rays.
the Rays are great now. They just swept our ass the other day.
Yeah, the
They,
Rays.
they
Well, I feel like the Rays. Oh, like every few years they're really good. It's just no one cares.
oh yeah,
Like
no one
as funny
cares.
as it is, yeah, as funny as it is, Florida has probably more Yankees fans than Rays fans. So many
Well,
New Yorkers moved to Florida.
that's old people. Old people move to Florida,
Yeah,
and all the old people are Yankee fans who were like, I grew up watching
yeah.
Reggie Jackson.
It's
My,
still no
Greg
one's going
Nettle.
to Rays games.
Greg Nettles is my hero. All right, bro. Just order your well done steak.
What I
Get a move
wanted,
on,
the
bro.
main thing, the well done steak. The thing I wanted to talk about was the point system because we were talking about this in DMs the other day.
And the
How
playoff system.
ridiculous! Yeah, that's because hockey's so fun to watch, but it really it's very annoying. Like it's very annoying how the playoffs are set up and the point system
It's not
because
right. It's not right that Colorado was playing Minnesota and then Vegas is playing Anaheim. The two best teams are playing each other. And the
yeah,
two weaker teams are playing each other. And then Bettman is so set on this format, and he is so convinced that this is the way, and that this is the right format. And I think it's because ratings are sky high in the first round. Because the first round is great. Dallas, Minnesota was a
rivals.
great. Yeah, Dallas,
Yeah,
Minnesota is a great series. Buffalo, Boston was great. Montreal, Tampa went 7.
yeah,
You got Penguins, Flyers, which obviously that's always a great rivalry, even though the Penguins shouldn't have been there. But and then you get I guess Anaheim, Edmonton's not really a rivalry, but you get the point. You get better matchups in the first round than you do in later rounds. If it was like it should have been, Dallas would have played, I think, the Ducks, either the Ducks or Utah. Minnesota
hmm
would have gotten the. I think Minnesota would have played Anaheim, whatever it was. Like
yeah.
the Western Conference had 3 good teams in it, 3 good teams, and 2 of them played in the first round. Could you imagine if in basketball the Knicks and the Celtics played in the first round? Could you imagine if we got Spurs Nuggets in the first round? Like,
Yeah.
that's not as good of an
I
answer because the Nuggets lost in the first round anyway. But
yeah.
I guess the Celtics did too. But you get my point. And then the
Yeah.
Sixers, and then the Sixers played the Raptors or something, and then one of them got to win a round
Yeah.
because they didn't have to play Boston or New
Yeah.
York. So that's my whole thing. I really dislike. I really can't stand the playoff format. 1 through 8 was because you got better
Yeah,
matchups in
there's
the later rounds.
yeah. I think I would dislike uh it's a horrible playoff format, but I think I'd hate it less if the point system was not a thing.
Oh
I think
yeah,
it's so like I hate that you get brownie points. The Rangers who were putrid, I was watching up until the All-Star break because their overtime losses were keeping them somewhat in it. They weren't that far back at a certain point, but then of course they kind of
they kept losing.
lost their
Yeah,
way. Yeah, they just kept losing, but it just goes to show like that's a team that should not be sniffing the playoffs, and
the
they
Pitts,
were just
the
because.
Pittsburgh Penguins went 41, 25, and 16. They went 500. They won 41 games and they lost 41 games. And not only did they make the playoffs, they got home ice advantage in the first round. And they hosted the Flyers, who won 43 games. The Capitals won 43 games, but they had 9 loser points, and Pittsburgh had 16, so the Capitals don't even make it. And
Yeah, that's
the worst offender is the Kings. Hold on a second. Where are the Kings? This is the Eastern Conference. Where's the West? The Kings. The Kings won 35 games.
yeah.
They
They were
went.
almost eliminated. Yeah,
They went.
they
They
almost.
went. They went 35 and 47, and they're in the playoffs. And the San Jose Sharks, who won 39 games, We're
Yeah.
like 3 spots down. And the
When did
oh my
when did the
god,
point system when did this get introduced? What year?
I don't freaking know.
Because I remember growing up as like when I was like 11 to like probably 15 years old, 16, and the Rangers were pretty good back then. Um I always looked forward to the NHL playoffs. I was so into it, like, cuz it was like a gauntlet.
Yeah.
It felt awesome. It felt awesome. And it felt like anybody could win too.
And that's
It
still the
just it
case.
felt
I mean, it's still not
yeah.
necessarily
That
untrue.
that is but then you get these cases like what you just explained. Like
Right.
where the bad teams are playing the bad teams and the good. So you don't get these kind of cooler later round matchups. Like it's like, oh, it's the Knights again. Knights are here.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
well.
Edmonton, LA, round 4. Like, all right, dude. But this is the thing. So I have the NHL standings sorted by conference and by their points. So the loser points system still applies here, but if it was just 1 through 8, this would have been the first round matchup. These would have been the first round matchups. Ready?
Mhm.
Number one Carolina versus number 8 Philadelphia. Number 2 Buffalo versus number 7 Pittsburgh. 3 Tampa versus 6 Ottawa, and then Montreal Boston. So we still get a rivalry.
Yeah.
Let's assume. Actually, you can't really assume anything because then you reseed it. Carolina still whoops Philly's ass, but it's in the first round and not the second round. Buffalo probably spanks Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh wasn't good. Tampa Ottawa is interesting. Probably Tampa wins that series, and then Montreal beats Boston, presumably. I guess presumably in hockey doesn't mean anything. But then if you sort it up by wins, and you didn't go by freaking loser points, then it's Carolina, Washington, Buffalo, Philly, Tampa, Ottawa, Montreal, Boston. Now the Cap, we would have gotten killed by the Hurricanes anyway because we can't win in Carolina, so it wouldn't have mattered that much if we made the playoffs as the 8th seed and got destroyed by the Hurricanes. But that's what I can't stand. It used to be this way and it was great. Or I guess on the
Mhm.
point system. Have overtime losses have always been a thing, right? At least
Uh
in the era we're thinking of.
how did it used to be when ties were a thing?
You had wins, losses, overtime losses, and ties.
Oh, okay.
Let me find when it started. I have to go back to the 80s. I'm on hockey reference. Name a random team in the 80s.
Rangers.
Okay. Okay, it's still 3. Let's go to 1980. Was it the early 80s? No. Is it the 70s? Is it the 2000s? Am I bugging? It is the 2000s. So yeah, the 2004 Rangers went 27, 47, and 8. They had 27 wins, 40 losses, 7 overtime losses, 8 ties. They had 4 variables. I would be down with the 3-2-1 system, where
Yeah.
a regulation win is 3 points, an overtime win is 2 points, OT loss is 1, regulation loss is 0. I don't know how much that would have changed the playoffs this year, if it would have at all. But if I can find it, I'll see. NHL 3-2-1 point system. I want to see if I can find what the playoffs would be if that was the case. So let's see. That's 100. Okay, that's telling me how many points the Sabres got. I don't need that. This is December of 2025. If added. If I can't find it, it's not really that big a deal. Hold on. What would the current NHL playoffs be in a 3-2-1 point system? Let's see if we get the answer.
Are you using AI?
Okay, this is a
AI knows
tweet.
every.
Oh, this is in February though. That's the problem. The one thing the AI does that I like is that it'll link you sources. Then you can check and see if they're credible.
Mhm.
So this is April 7th. I think the playoffs had started. Okay, 3-2-1 point system. Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Edmonton, Vegas, Anaheim, Utah, St. Louis are the playoff teams. That's the West.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I don't know if there's such thing as a perfect system in a sport like hockey that's kind of random, where
Yeah.
a hot goalie can steal a game that you shouldn't have won, or a bad goalie can rob you of a game you shouldn't have won. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just the Penguins being in the playoff. The Kings is the worst
Yeah.
one. The Kings won 35 of 82 games and they were in the playoffs. I know the West was weak, but come on, dude. And then the Penguins went 500. The Penguins went 500 and they got to host a round. They were
I
at
think it should
home.
just be like. I think it should just be like, especially because this was a sport that had ties at one point. I think it should just be like football. A win's a win, a loss is a loss, a tie's a tie. I don't know.
And then
I don't think it has to be that crazy.
overtime games are determined by a skills competition they don't even do in the playoffs. The Capitals
Yeah.
missed the playoffs because they suck at the shootout.
Yeah, shootouts.
You definitely do the shootout in the playoffs, right?
Nope.
Oh, we should have been better at this mini. We should have been better at this mini game. Then we'd be in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Okay, bro. Whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not saying play continuous 5-on-5 until there's a winner in the regular season. Then you're asking the players to
Yeah.
CTE way sooner. But you have teams settling for overtime just so they can get a point.
yeah.
5 minutes
Yeah.
left, they're passing the puck around and being super lackadaisical because they don't want to lose. As long as you get a point. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
What would happen? Here's a question.
I don't
What would
like
happen?
it.
What would happen if the both teams agreed to just sit on the puck for 60 minutes and go into overtime? Just no shots on goal. Well, that's
I
you
don't
should
know.
force their hand. You should force their hand. Next season, opening night, Leafs are playing the Canadians. Leafs win the draw and just sit there for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And just never move. Hey, we got a
Why
point.
not?
Because it's 0-0. We got a point out of it. So, but that's all for that.
Yeah.
I do want one more old man yells at cloud moment before we sign off.
Yes.
All of these for the NFL. I think we've officially entered the dead zone for the NFL offseason. Free agency's over.
Yeah.
The draft is over. The schedule release has come out. And is there a big event I'm missing? Draft, free agency?
Training camp.
Yeah.
Training stuff.
The schedule release is basically it. And now we have nothing to talk about in terms of football for months.
Yeah.
Which is why podcast
Yeah.
uploads have been infrequent because we find ourselves with not much to discuss.
Not much. But
Well,
as funny as it is, I think the Giants kind of ended the free agency thing because they got Reader, who I think was basically the best player left on the
yeah.
market, and then it was like, oh, best guy gone, defensive tackle, he's gone.
I think our next episode will rank all the quarterbacks and put them like in a tiered list, and then we could do running backs, receivers. That's what I have planned.
Something like that. Yeah.
Whatever we record next. But I do want to complain about something. Every team does their schedule release video, and it's always like over the top. My old man yells at cloud of complaining and just complain. I hate those stupid videos. I think it's one of the most overrated things in football. It's not.
I don't even watch them.
The only team that really nails it every year, goes above and beyond, is the Chargers. They hired some 19-year-old kid minimum wage to be tapped in and have all the information in the world present. They did not miss a single reference, okay? They referenced when they played the Rams. It was the whole thing where the Rams GM Les Snead in the draft was wearing a Colorado Avalanche jersey. And it made a lot of people mad because the Avalanche were playing the LA Kings. So when they did the Rams, it's the Avalanche logo. Like, they used every little detail. They made a Max Crosby joke, which is fine because they played the Ravens. And, like, the Halo guy went in to go play pickup basketball, like Max Crosby did. Do you remember that? When he left the team in week 8.
Master Chief?
Yeah, like it's
Halo.
multiplayer. He's walking in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There was a guy on Twitter who said if the Ravens get Max Crosby, I'll go bald. And then the trade happened, and then he shaved his head, and then it was rescinded. So he shaved his head for nothing. His like name was in the top right corner. Welcome.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of text messages, and then the Chargers said, "Take care of Jesse for us," like Jesse Minter. And then
Yeah,
the
Jesse Minter.
Master Chief walked into the basketball court, went to dunk the basketball, and he blew up like he died. And the two purple guys were like, and this is the Baltimore Ravens have backed out of our trade. So the Chargers do it right, and I watch that every year, and it's great. I think the rest of it is so. My thing is, we know what teams we're playing already. It's cool to see what primetime games you have. I think the Ravens have 4.
Yeah.
It's cool to look at the primetime games, how much travel you have to do. But I'm like, I think we're gassed this up too much. The Cardinals used AI slot because, of course, they did. The Cardinals would be the
Oh,
team
they
to do
did?
that. Yes. And also, it was a bad idea. It was kind of
Hey,
funny. It was kind
they
of
had
funny.
Carson Beck do it. They had, hey, Carson,
It's kind of funny
you
that
might be the quarterback.
It's
You
kind
might
of
be the
funny, though.
quarterback.
It's
And
funny,
you're
the
young.
Chargers. Yeah.
What are the AI kids like? What are the kids like? Kids like AI these days. Make a video.
The Chargers tweeted like hanging this in the Louvre, and it's like their premiere project, like all the assets and all the changes. This very in depth project that they made for the schedule release video, and then a reply says, it said hanging this in the Louvre, and it was the Cardinals. Like Cardinals schedule release was ChatGPT. The Arizona Cardinals are releasing their schedule. Make us a video. Like comparing
Knicks
the two.
take the lead.
The
Knicks take the lead.
Did the game
40 to
start?
36 right now. It's been on for a little bit. It's almost halftime.
Well, there you go.
Well,
Anyway,
you could say, if I was a
Chargers
fan, I wouldn't care about the playoffs or Super Bowls because you'd have the best schedule release video every year.
They win
Like
that
that's
Super
you're
Bowl
always
every
the
year.
yeah,
That's
you're
their
always the
Super Bowl.
champion of that. Yeah.
That's their Super Bowl. It's a schedule release videos. So, but I don't get it. Whether this is big, the Ravens half-ass it every year, and I think it's funny. I don't know if you've seen the Soup Nazi from Seinfeld, but we once brought the Soup Nazi to say what team we played. It's like and then the Bengals did theirs. They did their cheap ass schedule release video, and when they went to play the Ravens, it was like it's a division rivalry. No backing out of this one. They're making a Max Crosby joke, which is fine. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, we whoop your ass every year. Like why would we be scared of you? Disrespectfully, last year was an anomaly because we split because the Bengals beat us on Thanksgiving in Baltimore. Then we went into your building and shut you out with our sorry ass defense that let C.J. Stroud look like Peyton Manning shut out Burrow at home in their building, and that was the anomaly because the Bengals beat us once, and the Bengals in their stupid video no backing out of this one. Why would we back out? We whoop your ass all the time. I think against the Bengals, Lamar Jackson is 11-3. I might be wrong, but I dislike the schedule release videos in general, except for the Chargers, because I do think it's kind of a symbolically of how bad NFL humor can be sometimes, because it feels like all the time in football humor, there's like 3 or 4 running jokes that everyone just repeats over and over and over. We get it. Mike Vrabel cheated on his wife, and Diana Rossini cheated on her husband. We get it. What else? Like, back when it was a big thing, we get it. Taylor Swift's watching Travis Kelce, and it's all anyone could talk about. Non-freaking stop. We get it.
Yeah.
And it perfectly exemplifies why I don't like the videos, because every team just makes the same 4 jokes over and over and over and over. We get it. JJ McCarthy wears number 9 and he's bad. We get it. Every time a quarterback throws a pick, we don't need to see an AI edit of him on JJ McCarthy's face. We get it. McCarthy's bad. We get it. The Falcons blew the Super Bowl. We get it. The Seahawks didn't. They should have run the ball. Make the same jokes. So that's my.
It's a lot of the same memes.
We get it. The Browns suck.
The Browns do suck.
We get it. The Cowboys haven't made the championship in 30 years and something.
Yeah, 95. Yeah.
My hot take is that when in 30 years, in 50 years, when every team is owned by like a soulless private equity firm, we're all going to miss Jerry Jones, but whatever.
Yeah, BlackRock's going to own every NFL team.
no, Kalshi's going to own every team. But there will come a time.
Shit.
There will come a time where there are no like eccentric owners left. There are no more Ted Turners. There's going to be no more Jerry Jones, and and one day we're going to be like, I miss when owners had personality. So everyone makes fun of Jerry Jones for being a bad GM, but I think we're going to miss him in 30 years when maybe the Saudis run the NFL, maybe with all their money.
I'll miss Jerry Jones. I'll miss Jerry Jones because he's keeping the Cowboys mediocre. That's what I like.
As a GM, he's bad. As a marketer, and a businessman, and a promoter, he's second to none. I mean, he basically runs. Him and Robert Kraft basically run the league at this point. But I believe we have covered everything, unless there's something else you wanted to get off your chest.
I don't think so.
Well, that was episode 12. We were sitting about an hour and a half. Holy cow. I like the idea that popped into my head. When we do this again, I think we'll tier list all the quarterbacks, and that'll make for some great content.
Yeah.
But that'll do it. Hopefully I remember to edit out that segment in the first 10 minutes where I was having technical difficulties. But people, if anyone's still watching, what should they comment?
Comment who you think is gonna win the NBA Finals and who you think is gonna win the Stanley Cup.
All right. Well, that's all we got for you. So that being said, see ya.
See ya.